I used to say like hello COVID people, but I don't know if anyone's even. I mean, I don't. Anyone get COVID over their holiday? No, I guess that's good. Yeah, no. I don't. No one wants COVID. Okay, so here's what we know. We've learned a lot of shapes. You guys know a lot of shapes so far. So I would like you on the back of your paper right here. I would like you to write down graph shapes. And here's what. I am not going to lie. Second semester final is hard. Not because I make it hard. And not because you don't get a practice final. Here's why it's hard. Because first semester, we've learned almost everything already in Algebra 1. We just made it a little fancier. We went over it again. But think about it. In second semester, we've learned a lot of stuff, and a lot of it's been new. So when I start going over this, a lot of you are going to be like, oh man, I forgot all about those graphs, right? So here's what we should know at this point. The first graph shape we know is a line. And it usually looks something like this. Here's an example. Y equals 3x plus 1, right? And if you were going to graph it, he looked like this. I'm just making that's just kind of a thing. And I knew it was a line, and here's how I knew. Because I just have an x. Just have a regular old x. Nothing weird is happening to him. He's just a regular old x. And he made a line, right? The second thing we learned to do were the parabolas, or the u-graphs. And you know how we knew those were? Because they had the x squared in them, right? The key on that one was this guy. Once we had that little squared guy happening, we knew that guy was like, oh, that's a u, right? That's a u. I'm going to blow your mind a little bit because I bet you don't remember these ones. Do you kind of remember when they had many degrees? Do it. She just made a little, she went like this. She just went like this. Remember, they were the wobbly graphs, right? They were these ones that went choo, 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 right? They were the polynomial graphs. And remember, it was like, oh, how many times did it bump, right? For polynomial graphs. And we'll review this before the final. And then, oh, I think you guys are going to see if you remember these ones. Y equals. Does anyone remember what I called those ones when they had the square roots? I kind of had a goofy name for them. Anyone remember? Do you remember? Shooting star graphs, remember? They looked like this. They went, choo, right? Remember those ones? Yeah. They were the little shooting stars. Right? And remember, this told me where my comet, they were little comet graphs, right? This told me where my comet body was. So my comet body was like right there. And then he went like this, right? And we found the comet body just like we found the other thing, right? So here's what. This is kind of what we did in Algebra 1. All of this stuff is second semester, right? It's weird. So today, we're going to learn a new type. That's what we're doing today. We're learning a new type, and the new type is called exponential, right? And they're going to look like this. And here's the important piece. That x is an exponent. That x is an exponent. And I call these lazy J, because the way they look is they will look like this. And we're going to talk about it. They kind of look like this. They're like the laziest J you've ever seen. It's like he's so lazy, he's kind of like, he's a little floppy, little bit of a J, right? So what we're going to learn to do for the next 2 days is take the basic shape and move it all around, right? And know that, hey, if I have a placement test and they're saying, which graph is this? It's like, oh, it's none of these. It's this guy. It's that lazy J guy, right? Okay, is everybody okay with where we're headed? Okay, so here comes your notes for today, and we're going to walk through it. We always start with a T-chart one or two times, and then we never do it that way again, because I think it's kind of I actually just don't think it's that efficient. So here comes your notes, and if you're at home and you're doing these with notes, there you go. Love those notes. There you go. here we go. Beautiful. Great. Take notes, guys. Well, look at it. So fast. Only the highest quality writing.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's right. You spare notes. Let's jump on the desk. Alright, I love you guys. They're my favorite. Okay, here we go. So, here's what. We're going to do this one time and one time only, right? These lazy J graphs, these exponential graphs are cool and they have some interesting pieces to them that I like. So the first thing I notice is this. Do you see how he's up there? So I know this is going to be that lazy J shape. But let's, for one time only, I don't even know if we're going to do number 2 like this because screw it. One time only, we're going to talk about what would happen if you just plugged in points. So we're going to do this one time, and if you're like, Miss T, I hate plugging in points. No worries, we only do it once. So we always start off with 0, right? We're going to plug in the number 0, so 2 to the 0. I need you to be careful here. 2 to the 0, here's a hint, is not 0. It's 1. Nicely done. Good remembering, everyone. So I'm going to go 0, comma 1. That's my first dot. And then, thank you so much. Oh, so many. I'm going to do these in a few minutes. You have to hand them out. Here comes 1. We're going to say 2 to the first power. That's nice and easy. That's just 2. Yay. 1 comma 2. Super easy. Then it starts getting big pretty fast. We're going to plug in 2. And we're going to say 2 to the second power. That's 4. 2 comma 4. 2 comma 4. Could you always use this method to graph? Yeah, you could. But if you make any mistake here, like you went, 9, then you're kind of screwed. So that's why it's not my favorite. 3, 2 to the third. Be careful. This is where people make a mistake. It is not 6. It's 8. Beautiful, beautiful. 2 times 2 times 2. You knew that. You were testing me. Yeah. And this is why this is why these graphs, we don't do a ton of points, because once I get to 4, I can't fit it on the graph anymore. Because that is 2 to the 4th power. And you know what that is? That's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Again, it's 16, and it's not going to fit on my graph. So I am not going to worry about it. But now we need to talk about the fact that a weird thing happens now, because I've got to do some negatives. Because right now, I feel like it should go, this is what I'm guessing. I'm guessing it would go like this, right? That's my guess. But it turns out my guess is wrong. My guess is wrong. And here's why. And I'm going to explain why it's wrong. So we're going to throw in some new points here. We're going to do some negatives. And a weird thing happens with the negatives. And you're just going to kind of have to bear with me on this because it's a little weird. So we're going to get -1. And we're going to say 2 to the -1. And we're going to remember what -1 as an exponent puts it on the bottom. So what this is 1 over 2 to the first, or 1/2. It turns these guys into fractions. So what happens now is I get a little baby fraction right there. And watch what happens on the next one. If I plug in -2, it's 2 to the -2, which puts it on the bottom, which is 1 over 2 squared, or 1/4. It's a babyer fraction. It's a little babyer fraction. And if I do the next one, it's now 2, I'm sorry, not -2. Let me fix that real quick. It is 2 to the -3, which is 1 over 8. It's an even babyer fraction. And here's what's weird. It gets smaller and smaller, but it never touches 0. It just becomes a half, an eighth, a 100th, tiny, tiny, tiny. Like it gets down to like 1 molecule away, like literally 1 molecule away, but it never actually hits the line. I don't know about you guys. I was thinking about church yesterday because I don't celebrate anymore, but I was raised Catholic, and the whole point of going to church was to piss, like my sister and I would fight and try to get the other one into trouble, right? And did you ever do this with your sibling where you're like, don't touch me, and you just get as close to him as you can, right? And you do this. It's like, I'm not touching you. It's like, don't touch me. I'm not touching you. Don't, and it's right? That's what this is, right? This is that same thing where you get as close to them as you can, and then they ram themselves into you, and then they say, Mom, Dana hit me, and then your mom sends you out to church and you're in trouble, right? So, but I love church. So here's what this is called. The line that you're not allowed to touch is right here, and it has a name. And that name, and you're going to write this down, is called an asymptote. I'm actually going to spell that word correctly. Here I go. This is called an asymptote. And he is a line you can't touch. And you know what I will refer to it now from ever, is a lava line. Because I want you to think of it like lava. Because you can go and look at lava in Hawaii. They don't recommend that you do. But I swear to God, if you even touch it, like if you touch lava with your finger, it's not that you'll have lava on your finger. You will not have a finger, right? It's molten rock, for God's sake, right? So if you put something in it, what you lift up is no finger, right? Your finger just melts away. So you can look at lava. You can't touch lava. So when we have these graphs, they have what I'm going to call it's an asymptote or a lava line. So that's why they look like that weird J thing. They go like this, and they go like this. And once they cross that line right there, I call this the shift point. That means now they're going to just start getting littler and littler and littler and littler and littler and littler till they're finally like one blade of grass away, but they never get to touch it. Does that make sense? Is that pretty easy? Yeah? So here's what. Now that I know the shape, I only need to know 3 things to graph any exponential function. So here's what I'm going to do. I need 3 things. I need a lava line, and I need 2 more points. And if I have a lava line and 2 more points, I can graph any exponential. I know the shape, I know where it's getting big, I know where it can't touch, and I'm done. And that's what we're going to do. Are you guys cool with that? We're going to skip this one because we don't need to do that whole thing. So here we go. So we're going to start with this guy. So the first thing I'd like you to do, if you could, because I think my writing on this one is pretty crappy, do me a favor and write this nice and big for me. Right? And now I'd like you to add something to it. I'd like you to add a +0. And do you know why I can do that? Because I can add 0 to anything, and it doesn't hurt. And here's what I'm going to tell you. From here on out, if you have an exponential problem, the number that's added on right here is always your lava line. It is your asymptote. And it is super, super easy. So right here, to graph this baby, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in my lava line. Meaning, I can never go below that line. If I go below that line, I die, my finger burns off. People laugh at me in Hawaii because like, you're stupid Holly, you touched the lava, right? That's what they say, right? So that's the first thing. And you know what that is? It's y equals 0 in this case, because that's what it is. Nice and easy. That's our asymptote. Now, I need 2 more things to know how does my j work, right? What is my j going to look like? So it's super easy. We're going to just use 2 more points, and it's going to be very, very easy. So we're going to start by plugging in 0, right? So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say, let's plug in 0 right here. 4 to the 0 is 1, right? And plus 0 is 1. So I'm done. Nice and easy. So I'm going to go 0, 1. Here's a hint. Your helping point will always be 1 off your lava line. 1 up from there. Now I need one more point to know how, like, is my J super sharp? Is he standing up nice and tall? Or is he kind of laying over because he's lazy? And the way I get that is by plugging in an additional point. And I'm going to pick a really easy number, a super easy number. And that super easy number is 1. So I'm going to say 4 to the first power. And what is 4 to the first power? 4. And we're going to add 0. So it's 4. So 1 comma 4. Boom. Guess what? I'm good to go. I know the shape. And the shape looks like this. He's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but right here, he starts heading to the lava line, but I'm not allowed to touch it. Does that make sense? And look how easy that is. No points to plug in, and you've got a pretty awesome graph. A pretty awesome graph. Let's figure out the domain and range. Domain is so easy. Side to side, everything's fair game. I can go all this way. I can go all this way. It's all fair game. We call that all real numbers. Yay! But the range is cool. Here's the range. Remember, this is fire. This is lava. I can't go down there, right? So that means the lowest I can go on my range is 0, right? Because that's lava. And the highest I can go is all the way up here to heaven, which is infinity. Super, super easy. How is that? Is that bad? Is that okay? Yeah, talk to me, we're good. So here's what I'd like you to do. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going bad. We're going tough, because those are the easy ones. So look at this. Uh-oh. My lava line is different. So what I've done is I've shifted my J. Instead of my J being right here, laying right here, I'm going to be moving this guy. I'm going to be moving this lava line up, so he's going to move up here. So watch what I'm going to do. It's so, so easy. You guys are going to be like, oh my God, that's like the easiest graphing we've ever done. Step 1, put in your lava line. How do I know where my lava line is, or my asymptote? I just have a hard time saying that word. Sounds rude. It's this guy right there, right? So put in your lava. You will not be able to go below that line. Fingers will burn off, right? That is y equals 3. Do not go below that line. If you need to put some lava in there, make it all bubbly, you can, because it's fun. It's really like hell, right? Now see, it all works. Now, we need to know where our J is going to go, right? So we need 2 helping points. We know the shape, but we need some help. So the first thing we're going to do is plug in 0. Are you guys ready? So here we go. We're going to say y equals 2 to the 0 plus 3. Well, anything to the 0 we like. What is anything to the 0? It's 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So here's my first point, 0 comma 4. Remember what I said? It's 1 off the lava line. It's not on the lava line. It's right above the lava line. Now I need one more helping point. So here we go. Nice and easy. We're going to plug in, bless you, we're going to plug in 1. 2 to the first power is 2, plus 3 more is 5. So I'm going to go right here. Now I kind of know where the up part is. The up part is here. And now I know where the down part is. It's here, but don't touch the lava. Don't touch the lava. We got one last thing to do. Our domain, side to side, fair game. That's awesome. But my range, this time be careful. The lowest I can go is not 0. What's the lowest I can go? 3, right? I would be running into lava after that. So 3, but I can go all the way to infinity. All the way to infinity. That's crazy. That's a crazy looking graph. And you guys did it like nothing. Yeah? Okay, let's try one together. Let's see how you do. Can you guys give this one a shot? You know, I'm really ready for spring, but it's not quite here yet, so I keep like wearing inappropriate clothing, like oh look, I'm gonna wear like shorts. And it's like, oh, it's 45, but I want it to be spring. And now I'm wearing wintry clothes because I don't know what the hell to wear. I'm just going to wear pajamas for the rest of the year. Okay, so start with your lava line and then find 2 more points. It's as easy as that. That's why the asymptote is so helpful once you know how to find it. Yeah, it's supposed to get nice.
Yeah.
Because it's almost freaking April, May. I mean, we're halfway through April. So, are we ready? Did you take your backpack with you? Oh, no, I'm like, that is so weird that you have with your backpack. Okay, so, doesn't she work in the city?
Yeah, she's on break today.
Oh, they have their breakout. Okay. You told me. I know what room is it? That's because I stalked you. So, here we go. My asymptote is right here at -4. Put your lava line in. It's not part of your graph. Be careful, it's a place you cannot go, right? So here we go. I start right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some helping points. So I am going to plug in 0. So I actually do it. 3 to the 0 minus 4. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So it's going to be 1 take away 4 or -3. This should help you. Your little frame should help you. Eventually I'm going to get rid of those. So you got to get good at this. So 0, -3. Some of you are going to start to realize there's a pattern, right? It's right off the lava line. Now let's get the next piece. Are you ready? So now I'm going to plug in 1. So here we go. This guy is going to be a little bit more of a steeper J than the last one. Here's what I got. 3 to the first is 3. Take away 4 is -1. So watch what happens. It's 1, -1. Look at my J. He's standing a little bit taller, right? So here's what he does. He comes cruising in, hits here, but he doesn't touch, right? Just like that. Does yours look like mine? Does it look okay? Yeah? Okay, so my domain, all real numbers, and my range, be careful on the range on this one. I can go all the way down to -4 before I catch on fire. So I can't touch -4, and then I am going to go to infinity. I made a mistake in the last class. I need to change something, and I just realized it. I have a hard bracket at -4. Do you know what that means? That means you're touching the freaking lava. You can't touch the lava. So what do I have to change? I have to change this guy and make it soft right here. You know why? Because I'm going to get really close to that lava, but I'm not going to touch it. If I do the hard barrier, that means you're doing like this. It's like, don't touch the lava, and you're putting your hand in, right? Don't do that. That's stupid. Don't do that. That would be bad. You'll catch on fire. Okay, last one for you to try, and then I'll let you guys do your homework. While I tell people about fabulous things that are coming up for their lives. She's not here.
What again? This cannot be right. No,
And
there's
the
no
next
way.
one is,
I just went
oh,
to
come
the
on here.
What?
Isaac. Oh, no. Someone is this one student in the
Cannot be
station
right.
going
There's
on.
no way.
William.
Tuesday.
Hey, I'm going to do this one pretty fast. Are you guys ready? Here we go. Let's see how quick we can get to this. My lava line is at 3. Cannot touch the lava. Right? Hey, I could do my range right now. 3 to infinity. But guess what? I can't touch heaven, and I can't touch lava. So soft and soft. That was my mistake. And my domain, always all real numbers. That's always exciting. Okay, here we go. I need some help here. I'm going to start by plugging in a little 0. That's 1 plus 3, which gives me 4. So I'm going to go 0, 4, 1 off the lava line. The next one, here we go. Be careful on this one. I almost ran out of room. That's 4 plus 3, or 7. Look how tall this guy is. This guy is standing really tall. The bigger this number, the more upright your J is. The smaller the number, the more floppy it is. So this guy is a really steep J, but he still comes over and lays like that. Yeah, I like what's it called? The answers to your homework I haven't done yet. I'll do it tonight and put it in Google Classroom. I wrote these myself, so sorry. I'll do that. So if you check Google Classroom, you can get the answers. You can get all those other things, but if you do at least like number 1 and number 3 before you leave, you are good to go. Yeah. Oh, you know what? For tomorrow we'll take time to I don't know why I said this. And then when I take the old tape off, but people are marking it out. This thing's not working. Yes. So this is yeah, because that's like this. Yeah, I'll come by. Yeah, so I'm gonna retake tomorrow. So if you need new tape, let me know. Because someone over there has like a really sticky side. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, did you check? Oh, it's in the book. Do you want to go now? Now we'll do it. Easy, these should be easy. Yeah? Okay. 5 people that I was taping.